we're going to begin with some bouncing. So take a seat on your ball, start with a relatively wide stance, and do some gentle bouncing here. Remember, the wider your base, the easier an exercise will be. The smaller or narrower your base, in other words, bringing your feet closer together, the harder an exercise will be on the ball. So like I said, we're starting with a relatively wide base here. Use this time to start to focus on your posture. So zip in your belly, drop in your shoulders, lengthen in your neck. Take a couple deep breaths. Your seat always stays connected to the ball, your feet connected to the floor. Big inhale through your nose, big exhale through your mouth. We're bouncing here not only to get our blood circulating a bit, but also to get our lymphatic system moving. Your lymphatic system is your basis of immunity. And when we can get those fluids moving, then your immunity is going to be much better. So that's the beautiful thing about bouncing and jumping, is immunity improves. Kind of cool, huh? Good. Let's try 5 more. 2, and relax. Beautiful. With that same strong posture, walk your fingertips down the ball, glue them, and then on your next exhale, bring your ear to your shoulder, half circle around. Keep moving at your own pace. If it would feel good to do quick half circles like this, go for it. If it would feel better to hold in a place that's really tense for you, that's fine too. If you'd like a slightly different variation of this stretch, then bring your chin to your shoulder instead of your ear and do some half circles around that way. Whenever we're seated on the ball, whether we're moving or not, we want to keep our feet a little ways away so we have a sense of security. Good. Once you've evened yourself out, come back to center. And we want to keep our body weight slightly forward. So instead of sitting right on top of the ball or leaning back, slightly forward is going to make you feel a bit more comfortable. From here, bring your right arm behind you. So I'm just touching the back of the ball, and bring your left hand to the outside of your knee. We're moving into a twist. Pull your right shoulder blade towards your spine to initiate this twist. And then to go deeper, you can look over your right shoulder. But if that hurts your neck, no worries. You don't need to do that. So of course, our intention here is to give our back a nice stretch. But along with that, we want to warm up our abdominal muscles. So feel your belly button pulling towards your spine and feel those muscles get involved with this twist. On your next inhale, use those muscles to come back to center nice and gently. Exhale, switch to the other side. Left arm behind you, right hand to the outside of your left knee. Pull your left shoulder down away from your ear and your left shoulder blade towards your spine. Sit up as tall as you can as you twist, using your abdominal muscles to sit up out of your hips instead of sinking down into them. Hold for 1 more breath. Then pull your belly button to your spine. If it isn't already, come back to center. And let's do 1 more round of bouncing. If the wide base stance was easy for you, feel free to bring your feet a little closer together and make it a little more challenging this time. If, on the other hand, you need a little extra support, keep your base wide, and you can even bring your arms out to a T. That's going to help you balance. Whenever your arms are closer to your midline, stabilizing and balancing becomes harder. Whenever they're closer to a T, stabilizing and balancing becomes easier. And that's going to be the case whether you're on the ball, standing in a balance posture in yoga, or down on the mat doing some core work in Pilates. Deep breaths. Hang on for 5, 4, 3, 2, bring yourself to a stop. Nice. Feet a little closer together. Speaking of balancing, we're going to do a little balancing here on the ball. Arms out to a T. If you need a chair by you, a wall to hold on to, that's just fine. Go for it. Otherwise, from this point, sit up as tall as you can and use your abdominal muscle to just hover your left foot off the ground. So you'll notice mine is not too high, maybe just an inch or two. Even if yours is up a half a centimeter, that is awesome. Switch. If you want a bigger balance challenge, drop your arms to your side, shoulders down. Keep breathing. Good, and switch. Now you might notice that I'm wobbling a bit. That is beautiful. So if you're wobbling, awesome. What the wobbling is indicating is simply that your body is trying to get yourself back in balance. Switch. So in other words, this position on the ball, of course, gets you out of balance, and the wobbling is an indicator that your muscles are saying, okay, I'm trying to figure this out. How can I keep her safe and stable in this position? And down. Do a couple big shoulder rolls. Nice. Now, if that was challenging for you, do it again. If you want a little different version, slightly more challenging, we're going to add a little movement. So before we do that, check in with your posture. Then arms out to a T. Take an inhale to prep. On your exhale, bring one hand to your opposite knee. Inhale, both feet down. Exhale, switch. Good. Inhale. Big exhale. So this can be a really slow movement, or you can begin to pick up the pace if you want a bigger challenge. Now, if this is not working for you today, no worries. Go back to balancing like this. So whatever you're choosing to do here, see if you can hang on for about 8 more seconds, keeping your posture strong, your breath intact, and drop your arms down if they're up at a T. Couple big shoulder rolls. Very nice. Okay, we're going to move from a seated position down onto the mat, and I'm going to have you come to a kneeling position. We're going to do some rowing. Rowing is intended for your upper back. So come to a kneeling position. If you need to have a blanket or a towel or a pillow under your knees for a little extra padding, go ahead and do that. Once you've found this position, pull the ball as close to you as you can. Stabilize it with your arms and slowly roll into it. Got to muster up a little courage there. Then from this position, and by the way, I like to tuck my toes under for a little extra support. You could even bring your heels up next to the wall if you needed a little extra stability. From this position, you're going to tuck your chin to your chest, bring your arms out, take an inhale to prep, belly button to your spine, exhale, pull up. Inhale, drop down, exhale, pull up. Nice. So what we're doing here is bringing some strength and some blood flow to the space between our shoulder blades. And that's a space in our body that desperately needs that strength and blood flow. We tend to be chronically aggravated there because we are chronically weak and stagnant. So what this movement is doing is trying to counteract that. On top of that, with this position we're in and the movement that we're doing, we have to utilize some abdominal engagement in order to not roll off. So you might be feeling your abs working here as well. One more if you can. Of course, take a break whenever you need to. And once you finish that last one, let your head hang heavy and chest hang heavy over the ball. Some people love this position, some people hate it. If you're a hater, you can get out of it, no worries. If it feels good to you, then stay here for a breath or two longer, because what you're doing is helping create a little space in your vertebrae. So taking some pressure off your back. Now from here, bring yourself forward. So now your base of support is your hands. The bigger your base, the easier it will be. The smaller your base, the harder it will be. You're gonna roll forward so you're slightly top heavy. Your feet are still on the ground for some extra support. And we're gonna try a single leg lift. So with the single leg lift, you inhale to prep. Exhale, lift your right heel. Inhale, lower down. Exhale, lift your left heel. Keep moving like that. The bigger your lift, the harder this will be, not only for the muscles in the back of your legs, your hamstrings and your glutes, as well as your lower back, but also for your abdominal muscles, because your abdominal muscles have to keep you from falling off the ball. And if you're making your movement really big, they have to work harder to keep you stable. So you've got 2 more sets. Keep that range of motion principle in mind and do what works for you. Inhale down, exhale up. Nice. Final one. Excellent. From this position, I'm going to roll off. Actually, I'm going to come back just a bit so you can still see me. I'm going to roll off the mat just a bit and come to a plank position. So now my feet are off the ground. That takes, again, a lot of courage. And I'm bringing my shoulders over my hands. Then shoulders pull to your hips, not your ears. Belly button pulls up. The further you walk yourself out, the harder this will be. So my belly button is just off the ball. If I would keep walking forward and have just my toes hanging on the ball, this becomes much more difficult. So you got to find a position that works for you. I'm staying here today. Walk your hands back when you're ready. Drop your knees to the floor. Take a breather. That was excellent. Planks are awesome because they're a full body strengthener and they really teach you to hold your body with strength and with proper alignment. We're going to do one more set of that. If your wrists were sore at all, then instead of planting your hands on the mat, make fists and plant your fists on the mat. That's going to keep your wrists straight, which is going to feel a little bit better in that joint. So with that being said, belly button to your spine, begin to walk yourself out slowly. Again, the further you walk out, the more challenging this becomes. You're on your palms or your fists. Belly button is up. Shoulders to your hips. Hold. Now it's important to realize with this exercise too that we want to keep our abdominal muscles engaged until our knees are back on the floor. So in other words, once we start walking back, that's not the end of the exercise, that's still part of the exercise. So with that being said, keep yourself engaged. Begin to walk back. Don't relax until your knees are on the floor. Then give yourself a break. Beautiful. One more set of the single leg lifts, and then we're going to move to a seated position on the mat and do some work with the ball there. So come on out so you're so you're slightly top heavy. I'm combining my words here. And your feet are still grounded. For the single leg lifts, take an inhale to prep. Exhale, lift your right heel. Inhale down. Exhale up. Keep moving like that with the rhythm of your own breath. And do your best here to have a smooth movement on the way up, smooth movement on the way down. That indicates that we're using muscle instead of momentum. If possible, Try one more set, make it good. Exhale up. Inhale down. Final one. Excellent, roll back. Knees on the floor, and then roll up one vertebrae at a time. Gotta bring my mic with me here. And take a seat on your mat. We're gonna do an abdominal exercise. And by adding the ball, we're gonna kill two birds with one stone. It's gonna be an ab exercise plus an upper body exercise. How fun is that? So bring your hands to the ball at a 3 and 9 o'clock position. Nice bright fingers. Sit up as tall as you can like this. Your legs are out in front of you with a slight bend. You can either plant all four corners of your feet or plant your heels. With your hands here, squeeze the ball. Sit up tall. Take an inhale to prep. On your exhale, roll back. Inhale, sit up tall. Exhale, roll back. Keep moving like that, taking a break at any point. So you're really focusing on utilizing your abdominal muscles to support yourself on the way back, and then using them to stack your vertebrae as you come up. And with the ball here, we're squeezing to get our upper body involved. The more you squeeze, the more intense this one becomes. One more. You got this. Inhale. Exhale. Pretend like you're tightening a belt. Good. Sit up tall. And open your legs. Awesome job. We're going to do a beautiful stretch here called the V-sit stretch. So you're bringing your legs wide. Flex your toes. If you need a little knee bend, that's just fine. Another thing that might help if this is an uncomfortable position for you is sitting on a towel or a blanket, because raising your hips a bit can help make positions like these a little more comfortable. So once you've found a position that works for you, sit up as tall as you can. Take an inhale to prep. On your exhale, roll out. Stay here for a breath. And actually a breath and a half, because I'm going to have you inhale here again. On your next exhale, roll to the left. Keep your right hip planted. Look down at your left knee, or if that's too big of a stretch, you can look down straight at the mat. Keep breathing. Inhale here. Exhale, gently roll to the other side. Left hip stays planted. Gazes down. Jaw relaxed. Belly button pulling up and in. Inhale. On your exhale, roll to center. Inhale, roll up. One vertebrae at a time. That feels good, doesn't it? All right, we've got just a couple more exercises left. Roll your ball to the side. Keep a finger on it if it seems like it wants to roll away. And then with your knees bent, bring yourself down on the mat, coming to your shoulder, and then all the way around. From here, bring the ball under your legs. This can feel good. Just a little pressure relieving for your lower back. And then the final strengthening exercise we're going to do here is one called the corkscrew. This is challenging, so do the best you can. It's going to help be a beautiful strengthener for your inner thighs and your abdominal muscles. So with that being said, bring your arms out to a T. Shoulders are away from your ears. Neck is long, so that means your chin drops to your chest just slightly. Then from this position, you're going to bring your feet to the 3 and 9 o'clock position, just like we did with our hands. Takes a little coordination, do the best you can, and squeeze. Now, maybe this is your version of the exercise today. If that's the case, stay here, squeeze your feet, zip in your belly. That's a beautiful strengthener. If you'd like to take this to a little more challenging level, then extend your legs up, squeezing the ball. And on your next exhale, make a tiny little circle in the air with the ball. Good. Inhale, drop down. Exhale, circle up. 2 more this way if you can. Lower back stays glued to the floor. Stop at the top, take a little break. So I'm just coming to that position we were in to begin with. Whew, that feels good. And we're going to do one more set, of course, the opposite direction. So when you're ready for it, find your 3 and 9 o'clock position. Squeeze, zip in your belly. Consider staying here if this is the version you need today. Otherwise, keep squeezing, extend up, belly button pulls down. Inhale, circle the opposite way. Exhale, pull up. Inhale, baby circle down. Exhale, come on up. 2 more. Soft knees, strong core. Excellent. Drop your feet down. Bring your legs to the ball. Very nice. All right, I think you're going to like these final 2 exercises. They are stretches. Bring your left heel to the ball right at the top and then roll the ball out. Bring your right ankle to your thigh and then gently press your right knee away from your chest. If that's a nice stretch in your hip for you, stay here. If you need a bigger stretch, then roll the ball in. The closer this whole unit comes towards your chest, the more intense the stretch becomes. So stop whenever you need to. Once you've found your position, then scan your shoulders, neck, and jaw. Make sure you're not holding any unneeded tension there. And keep your belly button strong. One more inhale. On your exhale, push out. And switch sides. Right heel to the top of the ball. To the 12 o'clock position, we could say. Left ankle to your right thigh. Stay here, gently pressing your left knee away. Or consider rolling in for a bigger stretch. Bring your attention to your breath once you've found the version of this pose that you need. And on each exhale, gently move yourself a bit deeper into the position. One more breath. Beautiful. Extend out. And then roll the ball forward. Grab it with your hands. Our final exercise today is a supine twist. So you're going to bring the ball between your hands once again, 3 and 9 o'clock. Cross your right leg over your left. On your next exhale, drop your knees to the left and the ball to the right. Once you have dropped into the twist, then make a conscious effort, excuse me, I was going to say excerpt for whatever reason. Make a conscious effort to relax into the pose. We have a tendency to tense up and twist. Say that 5 times fast. And this is a beautiful pose to practice doing something different, to practice relaxing instead of tensing. Pull your belly button to your spine. Use your next inhale to slowly come back to center. Switch the crossing of your legs, left over right, like you're wearing a dress. Exhale, drop your knees to the right, ball to the left. Relax. Breathe. Belly button to your spine. Inhale, come up. And exhale, drop the ball down, uncross your legs. Nice. Roll to your side with your knees bent to protect your lower back. Push yourself up to a seated position. And we'll call it a day. Awesome job on the ball. Can't wait to see you back here again very, very soon.